Kenneth, one of our pages. Kenneth, this is Devin Banks, our Vice President of West Coast News, Web Content, and Theme Park Talent Relations. Hey, Devin, you better watch out. Kenneth might take your job one day.
Or your job, Jack.
Or his job.
Except maybe for Kenneth, the beloved NBC Page from 30 Rock. The goal to make it big in the entertainment business has been an aspiration of many a candidate in NBC's Page program since 1933.
But I know that this program has given me the tools to do whatever it is that I want to do.
A new memoir titled My Peacock Tale, The Secrets of an NBC Page, is written by a former Page who got her start at the Burbank lot on Alameda Avenue back in 1976. Shelley Herman joined us. Shelley, it's great to have you.
Oh, this is so much fun. I can't wait to get into this with you.
Okay, so you did what everybody said they were going to do and wish they'd done during the pandemic, which is you wrote a book and you Zoomed with all of these other former Pages that you've known for decades, some you hadn't talked to in a long time, and started sharing stories some you'd never even heard.
There's a core group of us here in Los Angeles that are still really good friends. I mean, we see each other at least once a month. But when we started reaching out to our former colleagues in other states, somebody had a story about Freddie Prinze, and then another person did, or a person had a story about a production experience they had. And suddenly the stories that we'd been telling for years and years amongst ourselves really got fleshed out. And there's a lot of stuff going on I didn't even know about.
Well, tell us about the roles of a Page. And by the way, the roles are slightly different. There were Pages in New York City at Rock Center and then Pages here in Burbank.
Well, the 30 Rock Page program, which is celebrating its 90th year this year, still has the tours, ushering the TV shows, and the internships where people can kind of learn the ropes of what's going on at NBC. And for 18 months, they have to try to meet as many people as they can, establish themselves, and hopefully get that next leg up in the business. Now, on the West Coast, because NBC Universal is now one big conglomerate, the tours don't exist for the Pages to do anymore. But we still have the internship programs where Pages go to different departments at NBC, and they do like a 3-month rotation. And that way they can kind of learn their way around NBC here in Hollywood.
But at the heart of your book are all these fantastic stories about the tours. Mostly, tell us about the shows. Tell us about the stars. Take us behind the scenes.
Well, if I was lucky enough to get a tour at 1 o'clock, I would just so happen to have my tour waiting when Johnny Carson arrived at the studio.
We just want to spend a little time with Johnny and show you exactly what he does as he comes to work every day.
It was great because Johnny would get out of his Corvette and he would look at the tourists and say, "The tour's a ripoff, get your money back," something like that. That would make their day.
Somebody told me you were in the building, and I didn't know you were going to swing in here. It was very nice of you.
Well, I was doing that Dean Martin roast or toast or whatever you call it.
You'd just see John Wayne or Bob Hope walking through the hallways, and they would stop and chat up the tourists.
What do you want, sugar?
And we wouldn't have to say anything after that because they wouldn't be listening anyway. They were just still high on seeing some big stars.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night.
What was great is the Midnight Special was taping there, and we got to hear all these wonderful rock and roll bands, and we were getting paid to be there to listen to all of this fabulous music. We had so many opportunities, and I'm so happy to say that so many of my friends, even the ones that didn't pursue the entertainment industry, took those experiences out into the private sector, and they all just thrived in the careers that they had.
They shot SNL at Rock Center, but you had a Gilda Radner story.
Dear Rosanna Dana.
Oh, well, Gilda came out to L.A. for a press tour, and my friend Pete took her for 4 hours before her plane arrived on a tour around Hollywood, the Chinese Theater, Stan's Donuts in Westwood. And Pete and the 2 other Pages who joined him wound up running out of gas right in front of CBS. How humiliating. And because Pete, being the gentleman that he is, he drove the car while Gilda and Linda and Melissa pushed it to a gas station. And she wrote a lovely thank you note that's inside the book. And anybody that loves Gilda, you can see her little handwriting. It's so cute.
You made friends that you had for years. By the way, even Betty White's mom?
One of my first jobs out of the Page program was working on a game show called The Liars Club.
From Hollywood, welcome to The Liars Club.
Before Betty would come to the taping, because her husband, Alan Ludden, of course, was the host, and she was sometimes a panelist on this game show. She and her mother would go to the Elizabeth Arden Salon in Beverly Hills, and they'd both get their hair done the same way and their nails polished the same way, and she'd bring her to work.
There was also some sexism that you had to deal with that wasn't easy. I mean, this is way before Me Too.
Starting to compare stories of what happened with some of the other women, we realized that it was something that was kind of systemic. There was one instance where an executive had said to me, if you sleep with me, you can have the job. I happened to know his girlfriend at the time, so I went to her and told her what he said, and she never spoke to me again.
Looking back all those years ago, who was your favorite celebrity or executive?
Like saying pick your favorite child. I mean, when you go to work one day and it's the 1977 Emmy Awards and I'm escorting Sid Caesar and Emma Jean Coca in a limousine.
Van Dyke and Company.
And backstage with John Travolta as he's crying all over my Page uniform. I'm escorting Alfred Hitchcock backstage at the Emmy Awards. I see Johnny Carson almost every day. You know, it's kind of hard to choose when that's your day at work.
There's a fly buzzing around. This monologue is starting to spoil.
It's a bunch of, 21-year-olds who had the keys to the kingdom back at NBC in the day, which Brandon Tartikoff called the last great ride. It really was the last really fun time to be in show business.
NBC proud as a peacock.
Shelley Herman is the author of the new memoir, My Peacock Tale, Secrets of an NBC Page. Congratulations, Shelley, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.